Hello and welcome back to Natural Log House YouTube channel. In this video we are starting a new build, a log post and beam house similar to one of our most famous builds on YouTube, but with some different design and details that we will reveal from episode to episode. My name is Leo and I'm the filmer and apprentice, I would say, and with me is Andrija, the real craftsman, that will guide you through the build itself.
Welcome back, everybody. We started this build early in the winter 2022. The assembly is scheduled in June the same year, what we will show you in the next episode. So don't forget to subscribe and follow us if you didn't yet, if you want to see it and you don't want to miss it. And we had a lot of time to build, so we decided to start early because we had a deadline that we don't want to miss. We know that every build has some problems, and starting early helps us overcome all problems that we encounter.
So let me guide you a little bit through the process that happens before all of this. When the customer approached us, it was almost over a year ago, we were building another house. Then we invited him to our office and we started talking about the options, and we landed on the log post and beam model. At that point the architect gets involved and he designed the house itself. When the customer approves the final design, we can start with the build. The first part is to calculate how much cubic meters of logs we need and make the order with the local supplier, and we always make sure that was a winter cut. Once the logs arrive, our job can start.
We got the logs in December and we peeled them. As we already said, this house is like the last one that we built and we don't need so much logs for it. We have a lot of milling though for this house because none of the logs is left around.
Here it's me driving a tractor for the first time. It was fun, but actually this day was symbolic because the log house that we were building on our headquarters was gone. And the place was clear and we actually started building this house. This was the first actual day of the build.
Some of the logs for this house are too long for our mill, and we must finish them with the chainsaw. Here we can see we have to mark the line where we want to cut, and it's a little bit difficult when you have to follow the line that is already cut from the other end. And the mill, which is standing over there, the green one, we can't pull it back unless we cut to the end because the log is squeezing it. So here, when we cut it to the end, the next step is to pull the upper part of the log out from the mill. That can be tricky sometimes, and sometimes it goes smoothly. We had an accident once. We almost destroyed that mill when Aleš just lifted with the crane too hard and threw the mills off the tracks, and it ended almost upside down.
So yeah, this was the first half log. Andrej is really can go really into details with just the chainsaw.
You have to simply finish it. You can't leave it rough like that one. You have to smooth it out like the previous cut with the mill, because if you don't, you'll have a lot of problem later when installing it on its place.
As you can see, like, these logs are how many meters?
These ones are 13.2 meters.
13.2.
13.2 meters. It's also hard to find a log like this, to have it straight and even, because this customer is a little bit different than others.
And here Andrej surprised me and told me, "Hey Leo, do you want to use the chainsaw today?" And I was like, "Do you trust me?" He was like, "No, but you know, try it." And yeah, this was my first job with the chainsaw for this house. We are actually kinda... what are we doing here, Andrej?
We're straightening the logs. Actually, because as I said, the customer is a little bit different. His taste of the logs is a little bit different than ours.
Here is the other half log. The process is the same, and we just need to be really careful again with the mill.
This is the point where Aleš once threw the mill down.
Here it's me going back towards the house just to get the half log out. And again, we make the log straighter because of the design and the wishes of the client. No other reason.
No. For cutting the saddles, we mark the center where we want the next log to sit on, and then we mark the width of the saddle, which depends on the width of the log that is going to sit there. Then you have to get the angle where you want to come out with the chainsaw and cut it left and right to the marks that you did.
Then I pushed Andrej to do this cool trick with the chainsaw,
which is quite awkward with this big one.
Every time you'll see this in our episode, it's pretty much me remembering Andrej to do the trick. Don't worry. Okay, and here it's me playing on the ground, but actually what I'm doing, I'm leveling the temporary foundations for the house. I actually have a major in land surveying, so this was kinda part of my job back in the day. And we are here using a pretty common laser leveler, and I only did the 4 corners, and then Andrej said that I forgot to actually do the middle parts of the temporary foundations.
Yeah, because the logs are too long and it will bend in the middle. You have to support it in 3 points. Occasionally Aleš comes to the site to check if we are doing the right job. if everything is going okay.
And here actually he reminded us that we need to
Lift it up.
lift the temporary foundations for at least 30 centimeters, so this is what we're doing here. This process, I mean, it's not hard or something, we just need to be precise. It takes a lot of time and a lot of checks. We check if it's good into the precision of a centimeter.
Yes. Measuring. All day of measuring.
Yeah, it was more than a day, I think.
We write the measurements on the logs so we don't lose the paper. It's easier that way. When we disassemble the house, the measurements are there and we transport it to the location, it's still there, it's written on it.
Yeah, pretty much the things that we check most are the diagonal measurements.
Yes.
If these 4 points match, we are sure that everything else will match too.
Everything's perpendicular and everything's okay if the diagonals are the same.
We are here in Europe, so the measurements are in meters, not feet.
Meters and centimeters.
Meters and centimeters.
We got it. We got it.
And some more milling. All day long, just milling.
So our channel got 3.6 million views in 5 months, and it's all thanks to you watching, really. So a big thank you. But we only have 15,000 people subscribed to the channel, and we would like to improve on that. Our goal is to hit 50,000 subscribers by the 31st of August, or the end of summer, and hopefully get a new crane so that Andrija doesn't have to play with electricity at least once a month. If you watch our older video, you know what I'm talking about. If you know any company that sells cranes in Europe, preferably near Slovenia, and would like to collaborate with us, please send us an email. So this is Tilen. We kind of have to introduce him bit by bit. And this is...
His twin brother, Tilen.
Yeah, three brothers. They all look the same.
Yes, they're Tilen, and Tilen.
Tilen is here scribing, also maybe not the first time, but he's also pretty new at
This
this.
was the first scribing, and Tilen's also, and Tilen's first Tilen also. All three of them are scribing for the first time. Aleš checking on us again. This time he realized we did a good job, we don't have to fix anything.
And our compensation for a good job was more work.
Yes.
So this is the middle log.
Yes, as we said, these blueprints are a little different, and we'll talk more about that later.
What were you trying to show here?
Actually, this log has to be in the center of the house, and this blue line is in the center of the house. What you can see is the mark on the log on the other end, which is on the center of the house, and that blue line was pointing directly to that mark, so we did a good job.
Next time I'll film it so we actually can show it to people.
Next time you have to come to work and you can film it.
I hope you guys like us talking in the background. We want to give you more information about the build itself that we just can't do with the clips itself. Leave a like if you do, and also some feedback in the comments. And if you unfortunately don't like us talking and would prefer to just watch the build with some music, well, then we suggest to open another window put your favorite playlist and mute us down.
That would be a good idea if you don't like to listen to us.
Maybe some classical music or rock and roll or jazz.
Whatever you like. Too much for the engine. Fuses go out. At this point we are at the second stage of our build. The first stage was preparing those pillars over there and cutting them to the right length. Here what you can see, we are building now the second floor. This. We put these 3 logs. Now we mounted these 3 logs and now we are preparing this log for installing. After that we are going to prepare loft pillars and the roof, and I hope everything will go according to plan. On our construction site we are preparing everything that's made from logs. That's our ridge logs, first floor logs and the beams. We won't put the beams vertically here because of the height. It's useless to work on 3-meter height, so we have to just cut them on the correct length, and hopefully the concrete foundations that other team is building will be leveled so we don't have problems with that. On the site where we're going to mount the house, we just have to then finish the walls, close the walls, insulation and everything, the first floor and the loft, and finish the roof itself.
If you are watching us from the start, we tried to answer all of your questions in the comments, but from now on, for the technical questions, please join our YouTube Craftsmen community. It's only $4.99 a month and you support this channel, and we will give you really technical answers to all of your questions. If you're interested though on how much this house costs or another house, and if you're a serious buyer, please email us. Don't just ask in the comments about the price, because we cannot answer, because every design is different.
Alright, I finished the planning, made these edges more smooth, but why did we do it?
We did it nice, and the thing is that every man has his own opinion about how the log should look like. And we're not just building a house, we want to build a home where people will feel comfortable in that. And this customer really likes the log to be straight, and at this piece, this part where it's cut straight, this is where the wall is going on to be. And on one side the wall would be touching the edge of the logs, and on the other side that is thicker, the log would be 5 to 10 centimeters out of the wall. And the customer simply wanted that line to be straight, and we did it straight. A lot more work for us and probably one happy customer.
What happened there, Andrei?
Yeah.
You lost the hammer?
Never.
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 But I filmed it. How you can say never?
Never. I didn't lost it. I found it later. You see, I have it yet.
That's actually how I lost my virginity. I bought a hammer, named it Virginity, and then lost it.
You have a problem, I never lost mine.
I really hope, guys, that these voiceovers will get better with time. We're just starting, so be patient with us. Here is again Andrei doing the chainsaw trick.
And Leo is loving the trick, so I have to do it more and more.
And if you like the tricks, please comment below that you want to see more chainsaw trick from Andrei.
aware of when scribing logs?
Not to make a mistake.
Yeah, but explain a little bit the process, please.
We have these water levels, and all you have to do is hold them both in right position.
That's easier said than done.
When moving, you have to simply hold in position, and it's all.
And how did you choose the length of the scriber in this case?
How much you wanted this log to go down, and we want it to come to this level, and this is 20 centimeters and 5 millimeters. That's it.
That's the whole theory.
That's the whole science fiction about this.
And where can people find this scriber?
I don't know, in the stores. We didn't get paid for this commercial, so you won't hear that.
Right, but it's actually pretty hard to find scribers.
No, it's quite easy, but you have to pay for them.
You have to pay for scribers? No shit.
It's quite easy to find. Every woodworking shop has them, but find the one that works for you is a bigger problem.
So after scribing, what's next, Andrej?
You have to cut whatever you scribe. We got a lot of questions about the tools that we are using, and we decided to put the links to the tools. You'll find them below in the description of the video, and I hope you find this useful.
Yeah, if you buy a tool from that list, you actually support the channel with a small percentage.
When cutting notches, we cut a little bit more of the wood toward the center of the log, so that it touches the saddle only with the edges of the cut. So that's only with the purpose to create a good seal between logs. Later we fill that gap with wool to isolate it, to insulate it, and put a rubber sealing for additional sealing, and that's how we get a really good connection between logs that doesn't leak air and insects inside.
And here was my happy day. Andrej gave me the chainsaw again into the hands, and actually a pretty serious job. And I did maybe 7-8 saddles that day.
Alright, Andrej, this was my first time making saddles. Tell me.
You could do better.
Huh?
You could do better.
I can definitely improve, but for the first time,
You can do better.
yeah.
As we said, every log for this house is cut on the mill, and none of them is completely round, not even pillars. I think only 1 or 2 pillars are completely round, and all the others are cut on the mill.
That actually makes this house really special. In a
It's,
way, always unique.
As we said, it's a little bit different design, and whatever people like, we can make it. We can build it.
Let us know what you prefer in the comments. Would you like to have the natural look of the wood, or you're maybe more for this kind of design? Yeah, I always cut out all the little details that we go through when putting the logs on each other, but actually this process is way longer.
Anyway, if you like what we are doing, you want to see more of us, don't forget to subscribe and follow us, and don't miss our episodes.